Welcome to the BAM Pod.
What the flock are you waiting for? California's newest luxury entertainment destination, Chicken Ranch Casino Resort, is ready to play. Experience laid-back luxury in our modern hotel, a casino floor with views of the Sierra, and diverse restaurants and bars that'll keep you squawking for more. Experience the all-new Chicken Ranch Casino Resort, located just 60 minutes from Yosemite National Park. Visit playchickenranch.com to book your trip today.
Take the plunge and jump into new favorites at Black Bear Diner. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we've got you covered.
Good old-fashioned family food, Black Bear Diner.
All right, welcome in everybody to the BAM Pod. I'm your host, Big Ed, and on the line tonight, I went out and I got our very own tournament director, Mr. Michael Bray. Michael, welcome into the show, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been a good season, and I think it's a good time to talk about what's going on moving forward and how everything wrapped up.
Yeah, this is our second season. So, the BAM Trail has, we went through, I think the first year we kind of went through some of our struggles and, ironing out some of the bugs, and there's still a few maybe this year, but you know what? I thought this would be a great opportunity for us to kind of talk about the growth we've had, how things have gone. We can talk a little bit about maybe some of the really tough decisions you've had to make this year on this trail. And what you think and how you've seen it. I mean, we've grown even a little bit more. The Kayak series has come along. I know that's one that's near and dear to your heart as well. We also have, the high school division, the college division, which I hope we get to see those grow a little bit more. But, Michael, let's just talk about the the overall, the BAM Trail to start with. Last year was the inaugural year. We came out and only had we had basically the Pro-Ams and just the Pro Tour. This year, Mark, decided to have the Super 60. And I think that was pretty much a game changer. What do you think?
I think moving to the Super 60 format expanded what we were doing with the Pro Tour tremendously. It brought not only the best competition in the West Coast, but it expanded the payout, it expanded the visual on it, and it brought a lot of people together that you probably wouldn't have seen otherwise. Going into our first season, we had the right momentum behind us. We had the right leadership behind us. But we were still missing that attractive piece that people were looking for, the viewership was looking for, the anglers were looking for. And then when you throw 50 grand in the pot to first place and you pay a payout of $150,000, you get a lot more eyes on you, a lot more attraction. And I guess you can just say money talks in that case. And the people that came out to fish, in the sense, um, they're the guys that you want fishing a professional circuit out here on the West Coast. It's the best of the best. And it's the people that you would normally look at in any sort of regular competition as the guy that's going to take your money. So when you have a whole field of guys that are going to take your money, it's anyone's game, and it's always going to be exciting.
Yeah, when you attract guys with names like Roy Hawk, Bryant Smith, Ishman Rowe, Greg Gutierrez. I mean, these are like you said, these are guys who, when they normally show up to a tournament, it's like, how do you want the check written out? You're pretty much expecting that, those guys are just better than I am, and I would I'd love to compete against them 100%, but now those guys are also dealing with a field that is just absolutely, I mean, stacked. Like you said, Mark Pilgrim's out there. I mean, you've got tons of big names. I think last year, one of the big guys that really showed up, ended up winning 2 tournaments. And now I'm blanking on his name.
Colby?
Colby Pearson. Yeah, I'm sorry. That was my computer just did a bunch of things. So yeah, I mean, it's like, are you kidding me? This guy came out, wins 2 back-to-back against some of the just amazing anglers that are out there. And then you move towards this year. Nobody's, stepped up quite that much, but we've had some really big names, do well. Ish Monroe won his very first Delta tournament with us, on this level up out here, and that was amazing to see and talked about. And then you just look at some of the young guys coming up, and that's another one of the things that I really think kind of went cool. Was some of the young anglers that came out. I mean, Noah Nguyen just won $100,000 Simpson scholarship. Now I want to talk to you about that a little bit because of the fact that you're a Simpson guy. This is your deal. I mean, this is right up your alley, right? You see what this does. Now I know that there's a little bit of things in there that the $100,000 is not. I don't know how that kind of works, but I know that he's getting a bunch of money and he's going to get it. I mean, he's got a great career ahead of him, and in fishing, that guy's going a long ways. Do you think?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential for, I mean, the younger generation that has stepped up and chosen to fish with us. It's the few guys that have done it and the high schoolers that have joined the circuit. I think they've grown more in this 1 year than they probably have in the last couple years in high school fishing. Our format is unique. For to be able to fish for $100 as a co-angler in a professional pro-am event
Hmm.
is pretty much unheard of. So having the opportunity to do that at the high school level,
Right.
that can funnel in wherever you're trying to go. I mean, Simpson, I coached the Simpson University team as well. In the last 6 months, we've gone from 8 people on the team to 14, and we've gone from 3 boats to 10 boats. So even the college side on the West Coast is growing. Chico State has a bunch of new students coming in. Fresno State's still got a solid team going. So the
Nice.
West Coast is growing and the buzz is growing, and I think that has to do with the opportunities that are out here now. When you have that pinnacle point of a Super 60 Pro Tour where you can win 50 grand without having to travel east of Texas,
Yeah.
um, right in your own backyard, that just opens up the whole competition and it opens up your eyes that you can succeed right from those local waters that you grow up fishing. So we've seen it in the pro-ams. The amount of competition has gotten a lot stiffer in the pro-am circuit. We had 133 boats at Shasta. I mean, when we're pulling the higher numbers in the Pacific Northwest now, and we're pulling good numbers all through California, it's all because we're funneling it right to the top to where that all everyone wants to get to, and they know that they can get there because they're seeing it happen. They're seeing Greg Gutierrez take home 50 grand at Don Pedro. They're seeing Ty Mantarola get two second place finishes in a
Right.
row and take home more earnings from finishing two second place finishes than most guys will get winning first 100 or 3 to 5 times on the West Coast. So there's a
Right.
lot of opportunity and a lot of growth right now. And it's obvious that it's growing on all the levels from high school to the college. And it's all growing through BAM and through what we're doing out here, I think.
Yeah, that's a guy. It's a name right there that I guess I kind of overlooked, and I don't know. I don't know why. Because I will tell you, I got to interview that young man, and Ty Manarola is just, yeah. I see a lot in him too. I mean, this is a great up and coming young man. He's coming out. Just like you said, takes two second places right off the bat, makes some good coin, and he's just been out there, cutting it up. But there's so many good names on our roster, and I think that it's only going to get better. I think other organizations are looking this way, so as far as their anglers, and staying out on the West Coast. The West Coast has always been that one that, I mean, some of the big names in the country love to fish out here. There's nothing for them to do out here. And I think with our pro-ams available, if they kind of works with their schedule, so we might see some big names really show up every once in a while.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely see some bigger names show up. I can tell you the buzz at ICAST in Florida this year. We're not just the guys in green shirts walking around anymore. We're the BAM trail. We're the guys that are doing something that other people have tried to do on the West Coast, and a lot of people have failed doing too out here. We have great partners in the industry. MLF is recognizing what we're doing. Met with Kathy Fennell this year at ICAST, and they recognize what's going on the West Coast. And I mean, the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame, those people know what's going on out here with BAM. You can walk up to the Bassmaster Elite anglers they're talking about what's going on. Oh, you guys are the BAM Trail. You guys are the guys giving 50 grand away. My buddy's fishing that. I'd love to get out there at some point. So having that, I'd love to get out there to people like Jason Crone coming from Montana to fish our
Right.
circuit. I mean, there's guys that are traveling a long way to fish with us. I mean, Adam Deacon comes all the way from Idaho. So people are making the drive to fish, and I think it's paying off for them with the media promotion they're getting. And I mean, in terms of bang for your buck, I feel like we're given a pretty good opportunity and payback. So.
Yeah, it's just a growing thing out here, and I think Mark's doing a great job, and I believe you're doing a great job, and it's one of the things that I really believe there were some tough decisions this year. You're on the West Coast, so there's always something, right? And this year, Shasta, you had to make a decision and call a tournament because, or not the tournament, but just a day. And luckily, we haven't had to cancel an entire tournament. It got close, but it didn't have to happen. There, and then we had to go back up Pacific Northwest, and we had an event up there, all wind related. And those are decisions, as a tournament director, especially, not to put this on you a different way, but as a young tournament director, I mean, you're looking at guys who are, in their 40s, and you're looking up, going, I'm gonna have to tell these guys that they can't go out there, and these are tough decisions against guys who want to fish, but at the same time, they understand that you're doing the best you can and what you feel is right. How hard of a decision is it for you as that tournament director, to make those to make those tough calls?
I mean, I'll tell you firsthand, being 23 years old and being a tournament director for a pro tour, it's one, it's an honor, but two, I mean, I do understand that I have a lot more experience that are fishing with us and that I've been in the sport. There's a lot of guys that have been fishing and doing bass tournaments 30 plus years, more longer than I've been alive. So I recognize that. I recognize their experience, and I have recognized um, how to move forward with that. And I think the best thing I can do is, luckily I have a good backing behind me that trusts the decisions I'm able to make, and I have a good foundation to work off of. So rules are black and white, and the one thing that you have in this industry is your reputation. As soon as you start making bad choices, as soon as you start doing the wrong things, that reputation starts to add up against you. But as long as you stay consistent, you stay with integrity behind you, and you go in the path that you feel is correct and that you can base the rules off of going forward. I mean, things work themselves out. I've been told I'm abrasive at times trying to get the points across, and I probably am. Being younger, you can either be abrasive and try to get your point across, and um, try to grow with the individuals a step at a time, which I'm trying to do. But I can't get pushed around either. As soon as I start getting pushed around, people start seeing that I'm being lenient. At the same time, the rules go out the window. Everyone thinks that they can have that step up, that they can do what they want, and to an extent, we are working to be a customer service provider. We're providing a quality service to all the tournament fishermen. But we also have to provide a set of foundations and a set of roles that we can go off of that makes it fair for the entire field. So that's what I try to do. I'm young, but I also have seen a lot of people make mistakes in the sport, and I've seen a lot of things that go right. I've been able to put myself in places around some of those industry individuals that have been doing this for 30 plus years. Sitting down with Rick Pierce, talking to him with Bass Cat Boats, sitting down with Van Foster, the owner of Bass Boat Technologies, being able to listen to their stories and how they've made their way in the sport and what they've done differently. Talking to Alan Gray, who works tirelessly to try and make MLF work on the West Coast. I've been able to see that foundational outline of how they're doing it right. And I'm just going off of that and building my own foundation with Mark backing me, with our great team of staff. We're one of the only tournament trails that you'll see on the West Coast that has a designated person for every single position. And all those people love doing what they're doing. I mean, if you talk to our staff, they've either got a smile on their face, and if they don't, we'll find someone that does, because our staff should care. Our staff should be working with you. And I mean, I think right now we're in a good position to keep growing. And um, I feel like we're the environment that you want to be around when you're fishing in a tournament.
We're going to take a short commercial break and talk to you about one of our great sponsors, StoreQuest Self Storage. They're here to help you get your garage back. As an outdoor enthusiast, you have gear, lots of expensive gear, equipment, boats, trailers, and vehicles, probably all stored in your garage. You need a storage space that's easy to access, secure, and climate controlled. And that's where StoreQuest comes in. Head over to storequest.com. Plus, members receive an exclusive 10% discount with the offer code BAM10. That's BAM 10. StoreQuest is the official self-storage partner of the BAM Tournament Trail. Now, back to the BAM Pod.
Absolutely, well said. You know, one of the things that last year was the kayak, the kayak division kind of kicking off. And I talked to you, we interviewed you on this show, talked about the kayak stuff, how it kind of goes. Now it's been going for a couple of years. Has it been growing? Has it been getting bigger? Has it been getting more people interested in it? What have you seen? Because that's kind of something that's really near and dear to your heart is the kayak fishing.
Yeah, so the kayak community is another great group of people. It's just kind of a different mindset, a different uh, group than the bass boat world. The bass boat guys all have $100,000 boats. They're all staying in nice hotel rooms. They're all um, have the highest end equipment, and then we have the kayak series. There's a lot of guys that have $10,000 to $20,000 rigs, but there's a lot of kayakers that are still fishing out of a $500 kayak, $1,000 kayak, using the rods and reels that they have and getting that same tournament feel, that same media coverage. Mark brings his bass boat out to that, and um, it's a community that I think we're growing pretty well with. Over the last season, we had two tournaments where we had over 70 plus anglers. So we've
Mhm.
almost doubled our participation from last season. But we did have some setbacks as well. It was
Right.
pretty much national news what happened at Lake Almador this year. It was an absolute tragedy and something I hope, as a tournament director and a tournament organizer, that me and Mark never have to go through again. We had an individual that passed away during one of our events due to a medical issue, is what we presume. And we had to handle that as best we could and still take care of the rest of the field fishing that day. Luckily, everyone was very well understanding, and they kind of knew what was going on. And I think we grew more from that event as a community than we had the rest of the season. Growing off of a tragedy and a loss is something that's very hard to do, and a lot of times it can end an organization. But for the grace of God, who whatever you want to call it, a bigger plan, our anglers came together, and they actually came and helped us fundraise for the family. And I think we fundraised almost $15,000 between giving up the entry fees from Lake Almanor and doing a fundraiser tournament at Lake Don Pedro that had almost 80 anglers. I mean, it brought our community together, and we're still going in the right momentum. So we were able to connect with the Mora family. His brother actually fished in the fundraiser tournament. And moving on from that tournament, we were able to grow together as a community, give back to them, and assist in the what we felt was the right way and what we could do with that. And the community's been growing on an upward momentum as well. So we just finished our last tournament last week on the California Delta.
Yep.
There were 40 plus anglers at that tournament, and we talked about next season. What we're expecting, and we're looking to expand slightly into the Pacific Northwest with one open event. We're going to keep our foundational roots of four tournaments and a championship, and that 2 day championship is going to be at an awesome fishery. We're still going to be a West Coast Championship qualifier, so that should keep growing a step at a time. Those guys compete. And if you're not familiar with the West Coast Championship, it's basically all the kayak trails in California coming together to compete at Clear Lake, for that championship event where the best of the best go at it. And we qualified quite a few anglers this season through that, and we plan to do so next season as well. But yeah, we're going on an upward trajectory. A lot of partners are looking to get involved. We had some great meetings at ICAST again this year. And I think we're on the right track to possibly have one of the top producing trails on the West Coast, with the best media coverage you can find for a kayak tournament. So I guess that's a wrap for the kayak stuff. But do you have any? Yeah, that's a pretty
No,
good all the way around.
no, that's and that's what I think people need to hear. That this is one of the great places to come. And if you are a kayak guy and you want to be a part of it, this is a great place to be. And I want to talk a little bit about the college stuff. I was, being up there on the stage, I only get to see, kind of the end of it all. College was a little, I don't, you know what? To just be blunt, college was a little disappointing this year. I feel like these young anglers have a shot, and they should be out there and they should be fishing this circuit. I mean, we gave away. Now let's go. I got to step back just a second for the high school kid, because I mean, we gave away $100,000 for a high school. What is the college? What are they vying for, and what are they competing against? Because literally, there was what, two, maybe three colleges that showed up at any of our events.
Yeah, so there was a lot of opportunity for college, and I think that's the most disappointing part. We got the opportunity with the Association of Collegiate Anglers to be a School of the Year qualifying tournament. So all of our tournaments you could have earned School of the Year points for and grown on a nationwide scale by fishing on the West Coast. Being a coach of Simpson University, because we didn't get that minimum number of teams to compete for School of the Year, we needed 5 teams, and at most we had three different schools at one event, and we had 8 teams was the max we had in a tournament, I believe.
Wow.
So we didn't get those School of the Year points, and as a coach now I'm looking at cost benefit analysis, right? So now to get those same points that we could have gone by going to Lake Don Pedro, the California Delta, now we have to drive 26 hours to go to Kentucky Lake and go to Lake
Wow.
Dardanelle, and we have to drive 3 days across the state or across the United States to get there, 3 days back, and it becomes a 2-week deal to do what we could have done in 2 days out on the West Coast. So it's unfortunate, especially for Chico State, for Simpson, who's trying to get those School of the Year points for that national recognition. And for Fresno State, they wanted, we could have sent national championship qualifiers through the ACA championship by fishing our tournaments if we had that minimum criteria. But not hitting that takes away of what the prestige was supposed to be with the kayak series. There was a little bit of money in the Angler of the Year pot that will be going to Brandon Hughes and Peter Corey. They got Angler of the Year with us this year. But not a whole lot of money to do a lot with.
Right.
When you're in this sport, it's a very expensive sport. We were hoping to fill that pot up and help those colleges keep succeeding. But now we're kind of back on the chalkboard of what it's going to look like. Are we going to do it? Are colleges going to be interested? Is there any growth coming from it at all? Or should we put our assets back into the high school side and invest in what we know is working out here? The high school guys want to come out and fish as a co-angler. They want to get involved with these pros, and um, yeah, it's hard to invest when the community isn't investing in us. So there's not a lot of colleges out here. We recognize that, but the colleges that are out here, we did expect them to step up in a little bit better of a way. And the ones that did, Chico State, Fresno State, Oregon State drove all the way out here from Oregon to fish at Lake Don Pedro. Those guys, they stepped up and they tried to compete, and we applaud their efforts. And now we have to see if it's going to make sense moving forward. Um, so yeah, it is a little bit of a disappointment, but I guess you get what you get what you give in. So that's kind of where we're at with that.
Yeah, I mean, is there? I guess the easiest way to say it is there a way to um expect next year to be better if we did go forward with that? I mean, is it something that you think possibly it's like, okay, we've done it for a year now and they've seen it. Will other teams step up at that point, or do you feel like that's just it was here and this is what happened?
I think it might be a transitional period, unfortunately, to where we're going to have to reevaluate and see if something down the line might work better. Talking with the programs that did participate, they had similar feelings to the students on the Simpson team that came out, and it's really hard to put 500 to 600 bucks to go out and fish an event to fish against three other teams, and two of those teams are from the same school you're from. So
Right.
it's a challenge. I think we gave it a shot, and we may look into it. And if from people watching out there, they start talking, they want to come out. You don't even have to be in a college program to participate. You just have to be a college student. So you can
Right.
come out if you're a college student, give us that some sort of visual that you're interested in. We may give it another try, but at this point, until we see that effort coming out from other programs and from that generation specifically, I don't know what we'll expect next season.
So you're telling me that if Mark Pilgrim and Marty Lawrence get together, go back to school, and they can come out and fish against these guys?
Yeah, I'll even give them a scholarship. You know what? Any Pro Tour angler wanting to attend Simpson University, I know you guys have the potential to grow, so we'll give you a scholarship. Um, but yeah, I mean, the high school generation right now is growing extremely fast out here on the West Coast. It's the fastest I've seen in a couple years. So I see a lot of benefit in the high school side, and I'm hoping that does transition into the college side down the road. But at this point, we're still in a little bit of a slump out here on the West, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that was a big, I think with the high school division, that was a really big number. I all year long I really thought about what it needed to do on that stage when it came to talking about that, because $100,000 in a scholarship to a college, um, does it pay for everything? No. Does it go a long ways? Heck yeah, it does. I mean, that's a lot of money for a young high school kid coming, going. It's like looking at, and especially their parents, looking at, college is expensive, and you're not getting a basketball scholarship, you're not getting a full ride, but you're getting $100,000. That's a pretty close to a full ride scholarship. It's a great event, and for the high school students to get that was amazing.
Yeah.
That was absolutely amazing. And Noah, I said this up there. That kid is going to be around for a long time. He has got some skills. He is not out there, doing nothing. He was back behind some of those pros, and I believe it was at least one of the events or two of the events where the pro that he got was like, this guy outfished me.
Yeah. The crazy part is, if Noah had fished the regular co-angler side, he would have been top 10 in two of the four tournaments he fished. So
That
Noah's
is
a very talented angler. Caden was second place in
yes,
Angler of the
Caden.
Year. He's another talented angler. He was a senior. He's actually going to Simpson as well. So we were still able to get him a
Nice.
scholarship worked out. So we've got Caden coming. Noah's about ready to sign. But the same scholarship that we're giving with BAM is pretty much as high as it gets for high school bass fishing scholarships. We do 2.28 million in scholarships every year for the high school world championship and high school TBF championship,
Wow.
which takes place back east. And they're getting those same scholarship numbers that Noah got. I mean, for Noah to be able to come out, fish, get a $25,000 a year scholarship to stay on the West Coast and still participate in college bass fishing at a national level is a pretty cool opportunity. And with the federal and state grants that California has to offer, a lot of students that are in similar situations to Noah can go to a private Christian school and fish on the bass fishing team for close to 15 grand a year when it's normally 55 grand a year. So it's definitely a big cut. It's a investment into their future, but when you're going to a private Christian school, you kind of have to look at all the way around what you're getting, what those benefits are with the bass fishing program. We're giving higher scholarships for bass fishing than what some of the football and basketball and baseball players at Simpson are getting. So um,
Nice.
it's a pretty awesome opportunity, and to be able to stay on the West to do it is pretty cool. And I mean, it's lining them up to go back east too. I mean, being
Right.
put in a national magazine as a high school angler, that's a whole lot of criteria to talk about when you're talking to Montevallo, when you're talking to the University of North Alabama, Auburn, where Tyler Madden goes to school.
Right.
So yeah, there's a lot of good opportunity that grows from it, and we're here as a foundational piece for wherever your future wants to take you. But you will learn a lot very quickly doing the high school series, I'd say, and the scholastic series.
Discover Plumas County, where adventure meets tranquility. Nestled in the heart of nature, Plumas County offers endless activities for everyone. Dive into the clear waters of Lake Almanor for wakeboarding thrills and fishing excitement. Whether you're an adrenaline junkie or a fishing enthusiast, Lake Almanor has something for you. Stroll through charming local boutiques and indulge in fine dining experiences that will tantalize your taste buds. From unique shops and gourmet restaurants, Plumas County is a haven for those who love to explore and savor. Immerse yourself in lush forests of pine and fir trees, perfect for camping, hiking, and biking. And don't miss the breathtaking Lassen Volcanic National Park, where you can witness the power and beauty of nature up close. Footloose in Plumas County, your ultimate escape for adventure, relaxation, and unforgettable memories. Visit Plumas County today.
It's the moment when everything is on the line and precision, power, and control make all the difference. A moment over 20 years in the making, anchored on loyalty, trust, and support that goes beyond all expectations. A relentless pursuit of perfection. All born from a revolutionary idea to help you rule the water. Power Pole.
Well, you know, we're here towards the end of the season now. We've got championships pretty much left. I think yeah, I don't think we have. Do we have any we have one more regular. We have the Super 60 up at Boardman next, I think. And I think that's the last. That's the last of it, right? That's the last of the regular season, and then we're just to championships. We're up to Almanor for the Pro-Am championship, and then we're back down to
Clear Lake for the
Clear,
Pro
yeah,
Tour.
for the Clear
And
Clear
there's the
Lake for the
Delta
Super
as
60.
well. So
Yeah, and then we have the Delta.
the super, yeah,
Wait, what's the Delta one for?
Super 60.
Oh, Super 60?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean we're right at the end, man. I have my view of it. Mark has his view of. How is your view for this year? How has it gone? How has it run? How does it feel that do you feel like we did a good job on this thing and making this thing grow?
I would say our biggest, I guess, the best word I can use to describe this season was consistency.
Yeah.
Everyone knows how last season played out, starting off at Lake Oroville with the scale issues and starting off at Shasta with the long lines in the bag line when you're coming up and it's freezing cold. We know that there were some issues to work out and some kinks to work out on year one. But going right into year two, I mean, we had 133 boats at Shasta in the Pro-Ams. We had a full field of Super 60 anglers. We had 70 plus kayaks at Clear Lake. We were dialed in all the way around, and we had that same growth all the way throughout the season, I would say. Our staff has worked tirelessly at every event to get everything dialed in. We've got our release boat captains that do a great job keeping fish care at the top of our priority list. We've totally revamped our pump systems and everything from how we set up the weigh-in stage to how it works on the back end to get you guys the fastest results and the fastest checks possible. So I feel like in terms of consistency, we were extremely consistent. All of our events, the same media coverage was presented, the same quality, the same excitement went all throughout the season. I mean, it was an exciting season. There were a lot of big fish catches and a lot of stuff going on that made it worth you guys to come out, for worth our viewership watching, our YouTube to explode. I think Mark made a post the other day. Our YouTube was third of all the bass fishing organizations. So if we're right behind MLF and Bass, then that's where we need to be to surpass them down the line.
Absolutely.
And we're making wakes there too. Uh, I think I would have liked to see a little bit more growth on the Pacific Northwest. I was a little disappointed by how many of the anglers out there were from California. But I think the Northwest guys were just as disappointed that their friends didn't show up and their colleagues in that stiff competition that the Northwest is known for. And I'm challenging them to come out next season. They saw that we're giving them a good show. We're
Right.
not taking advantage of anybody. Well, where there's a misconception that the California guys can have a benefit in the Pro-Am series. But I think the Northwest guys have just as big of a benefit, especially moving forward with how we're going to do it next season, the way we're planning on doing our divisions. A little bit under wraps still until we get it finalized. But no one should be disappointed, and it's all going to come down to personal skill and personal growth. to be able to make it to that next level, which is that's how it should be. There's no skewed results. There's no heavyweights at the stage. There's nothing
Right.
um, cut in lines, no cut in corners. Everyone does it fair and square, and everyone has the same rules to play by. And how you choose your strategy is how well you succeed. So I think in terms of that, how consistent we were this season, was growth on the West Coast. Pacific Northwest, there was still growth. It wasn't as immense as I would have liked to see,
Right.
but we're going the right direction. So I think we gave that foundational root that we needed on the Northwest. That our trust, we have their trust, and we're going to keep building and developing that relationship. The West, we're still doing great out here in California, and we might even give Arizona some love next season. So we'll see what happens, but um, I think there's opportunity, and now's the time to seize it.
Yeah, I think watching how we went, how it grew, like you say, just having some of the overall features. Mark really taking pride in the fish care, taking in making up a whole new system for his bump tanks, making up a whole new water storage and everything. I mean, it's just he is taking so much pride in what he wants to do with this tour, how he wants it to go, how he wants fish care, how he wants everything to kind of run smoothly. I think we had some amazing events that people were coming across that stage, getting their time on the mic still and getting off the stage and doing it in some, really record times. I mean, like guys were coming up. And I think one of the things you said in there that really surprised some of the Pacific Northwestern guys, when we got to Boardman especially, and when we got, way up there at potholes, and that sort of thing is guys were leaving with checks in their hands. You're like, oh, it was, the time that we go. Some guys weren't expecting that. I think a lot of people weren't expecting that. It's like, wait, when does my check come in the mail? It doesn't. Just hang out for a few more minutes and you'll get a check. And I think there were so many people that weren't used to that, and and that's something in this sport that's become special. That you'll get your check the same day. Yes, before you leave here, you get a check. That is an amazing thing. Great trophies. I mean, I think there's it's just there's no place to go but up from here still. It's like we are not at anywhere near the top of what I think we can do. I think we have a lot of room to grow. I think we have some sponsors out there that want to come on board. I think there are plenty of people out there, plenty of organizations that are still looking at us going, okay, we've seen what you've done for a couple of years now, and maybe it's time to come on. It would be great to see. Going forward, I know Mark has talked about, and I'm sure you guys have talked about it, is even increasing some of the field coming up. And when I interviewed Mark a few weeks back, he talked about that. He goes, there might be some, it might even go bigger than that 50. So, looking forward, it could be bigger, and that's an amazing thing to even think of out here on the West Coast, that there is room to keep growing.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of room to grow, and I mean, we've got the lakes, we've got the venues, and we finally have that support system that we're building. That just like creating a relationship with our anglers year after year, showing that consistency. We have the same consistency coming on the back end with the venues we go to.
Right.
Lake Almanor has become a staple for the BAM Trail because they've supported us. They've built that relationship. And they want to invest in the bass fishing out here on the West Coast. Boardman, Oregon.
Yeah.
We go to Boardman because Boardman welcomes us with open arms. They want our anglers to be there. They want to be involved with us. We have the parks manager. George wants to be an observer at the Super 60 program. So we've got
Right.
these guys personally investing in us and seeing what we're doing to try and build the West. So if we can keep building those relationships, we need to find new places to go if we're going to keep it exciting. So if you're that guy at the Chamber of Commerce up at some of those cool lakes, you want us to call the Super 60 home next season, then start reaching out to myself and Mark. Mark does a great job delegating our media. and giving a promotion of what we actually offer the communities and how much we bring in. If you do the math, if there's 133 guys and every guy has a $70,000 boat and a $60,000 truck, it adds up pretty quickly. You're bringing millions and millions
Yeah.
into these venues. So, um, as long as you're not a car thief, then we're doing pretty good there. But yeah, there's a lot of growth coming on, and I
Yeah.
mean, I don't see any way we can go down unless we start making the wrong decisions. But right now, we have a great group of people that invest in our decisions, that help us, give us the guidance that we're looking for. Mark has a great head on his shoulders for the business side of things, and I'll still be a little bit of abrasive if I need to be that to make sure that the roles are what they need to look like. But I'm also going to help you more than I think a lot of tournament directors would. So I mean, throughout the season, I think Mark has given multiple props away. We'll go out and make sure that you're taken care of if your boat does break down. Not a whole lot of organizations are going to give you that same effort and time. And I mean, there was a boat that broke down on Boardman last month at the
Yeah.
Pro Am, and we actually had the firefighters, they used their towboat to bring these guys to safety and get them in on time. So the community's literally investing in the anglers, their safety, and what they're doing on the water. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited for next season, and I think all the anglers should be too. It's what they want, they asked for, and we're providing. We're making that platform.
Yeah, it should be fun. We got the championships coming up. We got I think the last one at Boardman, and then we have the championships coming up, and it should be an absolute good time and giving away a lot of good stuff. We're working forward. But yeah, I think it's good. Michael, you know what? Thanks for coming on, man. The tournament director came out here. He's done a great job talking to everybody. I hope you guys learned a little bit about the whole tour itself and what's going on. We're going to wrap it up at this point and put all the got to make some money, put all the commercials in. So, everybody, Michael, thank you for coming on and doing this. I really do appreciate it. You're doing a hell of a job out there, and a lot of guys have said that. A lot of guys are, out there respect what you're doing. I myself respect what you're doing. I like the hard decisions you've had to make, and you've made them gracefully. And I really appreciate being up there working with you. And you know what? Thanks for doing the show, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. If you guys are out there watching, you've never fished our event, give me a phone call. I'm probably the easiest guy to reach. I think my phone's on about every post you can see from BAM. But 209-769-4546, and I'm happy to sit and have a conversation about what you're looking for and how we can fill those needs next season. We're a great platform for the high school angler and for the angler looking to get to that next level without having to travel halfway across the nation. So we're right here. We're local. We're your hometown anglers. And we're that media platform that wants to present you as the person you are and the person that you have the opportunity to be. So thank you, Ed, for making them look good on the stage, making me look good on the podcast. Hopefully, you can cut out all my ifs, ands, or buts, and
That's all
hopefully I
good.
didn't ramble too much. But this is Bass Angler Magazine, and we're here to stay, and we're here for you. So thanks for your time, Ed.
All right. Thank you, Michael. And everybody, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you on our next show.